Atlanta, capital of Georgia, the traditionally conservative southern state that flipped to Biden in the 2020 election. Donald Trump is still trying to overturn the result.
They attacked and cheated on our elections, and they did it right here in Georgia also, right here in Georgia. We never forget 2020, just in case you have any question. We're not forgetting 2020. Most corrupt election in the history of our country.
It may seem like a quixotic campaign, but it's paying political dividends.
We think Trump won. Absolutely. We think that the election was rigged.
Almost 70% of Republicans now say they believe the election was stolen.
It's not an election that was stolen from Donald J. Trump. It's an election that was stolen from we the people, and we have not forgotten, and we are going to fix 2020.
Outside the state capitol, a year after the election, Trump loyalist Amy Kramer is demanding a recount of the Georgia vote.
An audit doesn't hurt anybody. One illegal vote is one vote too many. Right?
Kramer heads Women for America First, the organisation behind the January 6 rally that preceded the assault on the Capitol.
We know that there was voter fraud. We absolutely know it. And that's why we're here, to stop the steal.
Kramer has been subpoenaed by the Congressional Committee investigating January the 6th to answer questions about her role. Why have you been subpoenaed? What are they trying to get you to tell them?
I can't. If you want any information, you have to speak to my attorney.
What's it like having a committee like that come after you for information?
I mean, I'm not backing down. We did nothing illegal. They want to destroy a movement, and when you want to take down a movement, you go after the leaders.
Inside the state capitol, a very different Republican is at the heart of the investigation into Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Brad Raffensperger is Georgia's Secretary of State, the official whose job it was to oversee the vote. 3 weeks after the election, he got a phone call from Donald Trump.
It was, I guess you would call it a surreal moment.
Hello, Brad and Ryan and everybody. We appreciate the time and the call.
The call soon turned ugly.
If we could just go over some of the numbers, I think it's pretty clear that we won. We won very substantially, Georgia.
President Trump, we don't agree that you have won.
I heard what he was saying. I heard what the outcome that he desired. But also I knew that I had to just stick to the truth. I had to follow the law. I had to follow the Constitution.
In those critical days, Donald Trump is in the last gasp of trying to overturn the United States election, and that includes the legitimate, lawful outcome in Georgia. He needs to knock out that state because he wants to set off a domino effect.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
What he thought is that I was going to be somehow coerced. I heard that pressure. I just let him know that there weren't 5,000 dead people, there were 0. There weren't thousands of felons that voted, there was 74 or less. All those allegations that had been out there in the internet and also put out by his surrogates and acolytes, they were just wrong.
It may be that with that Raffensperger call, he finally went one step too far, and now he's under criminal investigation in Georgia.
Local District Attorney Fani Willis has convened a grand jury to decide if Trump's coercion was a crime. The staunch Republican Raffensperger has stuck to his guns, despite torrents of anonymous threats.
We got lots of threats, and my wife started getting death threats and sexualized tests. I try to really be even keel out there in the public domain.
And privately?
What would your husband say if you were getting bombarded with stuff like that?
Donald Trump continues to abuse him.
Something wrong with this guy. Your Secretary of State, Raffensperger. I'm telling you, I think there's something wrong with him.
While the Georgia District Attorney investigates Trump's intimidation of Raffensperger, in Washington, the January 6 committee is targeting the role of Trump's allies in the lead-up to the Capitol insurrection. Legendary journalist of Watergate and author of 3 books on Trump, Bob Woodward compares it to the investigation into Richard Nixon.
In Watergate, there were 2 operational managers, Howard Hunt from the CIA, Gordon Liddy from the FBI, and they managed the dirty tricks, the sabotage, the espionage, the Watergate burglary itself. And the question is, in the January 6th insurrection that Trump clearly inspired, 600 people charged with crimes, hundreds of people involved on that day, at that hour. It must have been coordinated in some way. And so, who did that?
The committee recently focused on Trump advisor Steve Bannon, who Woodward revealed had urged Trump to return to Washington ahead of January the 6th.
Based on the committee's investigation, it appears that Mr. Bannon had substantial advance knowledge of the plans for January 6th, and likely had an important role in formulating those plans.
The committee voted to hold Bannon in contempt for ignoring a subpoena to appear before them.
No one in the United States of America has the right to blow off a subpoena by a court or by the United States Congress.
Is that why Steve Bannon's testimony is so important, because it links Trump to the events?
The biggest, I think, unknowns about January 6th go to the president's role before, during, and after, and we're determined to find out.
But getting Trump and his allies to talk is their biggest problem. Even facing criminal contempt charges, Steve Bannon and the other 15 Trump aides who've already been subpoenaed will obfuscate and delay for as long as they can. They know the January 6 committee is running against a political clock. Surrendering to the FBI on Monday, Bannon was defiant.
Nancy Pelosi is taking on Donald Trump and Steve Bannon. She ought to ask Hillary Clinton how that turned out for them, okay?
We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue.
Bob Woodward believes that even criminal charges for Donald Trump won't halt his political momentum.
In this country, you can be accused of a crime and continue with your business. There might be a trial. These things take months or years. I don't think anything stops Donald Trump.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.